Welcome everybody to the Week 16 Commissioner's Address. This will be my final address of the season, more than likely. At the very least, my final address for 2014. Congratulations to Bassett's Brawlers who pulled out the win. He is this year's champion. So I got to give him that trophy, which has to get done up yet, which will happen very soon, I promise. Been kind of slacking in that regard, so I apologize. I'll get the trophy all done up, and we will do an official passing of the green jacket, so to speak. Going right into last week's recap, I'm going to start with the low bottom, which is myself against Habs Rule. Wasn't really a game. I don't remember setting my lineup. I may have. Didn't really matter. I won 76-39 against Habs Rule. Not a lot going on in this game. Jonathan Stewart had 19 points, just shy. Decent. Then I had 12 from Roethlisberger, and that's pretty much it. 12. So he obviously didn't set his lineup. He had 3 people throw up goose eggs, so not a big game. Pretty boring. I wrapped up 7th place, so yay for me. Going right into Eric's team against Mitchell's team. Eric had a really good year overall. He had some really big weeks. He just kind of got the shitty draws, so he had some tough weeks. He ends up 7-7. He does take week 16 against Mitchell's team, who ended up with 8-6 record, which is a little bit better, but Eric had a really good year, especially after last year. Good job, Eric. Big scorers in this week in that matchup was Emmanuel Sanders. He had a big year. Torrey Smith, not as big of a year, but consistent. Mike Wallace is pretty touchdown dependent, and Peyton Manning had a slow week with 16 points. He's been just as good this year, almost as good as last year. So Eric's team wraps up 5th, I believe, with that one, and Mitchell's team will take 6th. Next one is the consolation playoffs. Glorious Bradfords against Squirrel Nuts. Glorious Bradford's another big week, 114 points, takes the win. They finished the league in 3rd place with 8-6. Squirrel Nuts in 4th with 8-6. Squirrel Nuts had a good start, but just kind of dwindled off to the end there. Glorious Bradford's had a really good year. Again, a lot of tough matchups, some quarterback troubles. Colin Kaepernick had a big week in that matchup, 27 points. Sanchez 22. I keep starting Sanchez, but he did get 22 this week. A couple of wide receiver performances. So that is 3rd place and 4th place. Going into our championship game, Bassett's Brawlers against Waiver Wire. It was not even close. 5th highest point total in the league to date, so that includes last year. 150 points for Bassett's Brawlers. He almost sat his his running back on Monday night just to kind of rub it in, but figured he'd get the extra 20 points or whatever CJ Anderson put up. Russell Wilson had a huge performance. I don't know where that came from. He's been pretty hit or miss this year. Had a couple big games. Marshawn Lynch had a good game. Frank Gore wasn't expected to play. He had a big game, so that was a good decision by Bassett's Brawlers to keep him in there. I just want to point out the team that Spencer started with at the beginning of this year. He had Marshawn Lynch was his first pick, who had a steady year, a couple slow weeks in between there when Percy Harvin left, and they seem to have some miscommunication in Seattle. Second pick was Drew Brees, who had a shit year. Randall Cobb was okay. Frank Gore came through for him in the last week there, but didn't really have a good year. Percy Harvin was shit. Roddy White was shit. Stephen Ridley was shit. Eric Decker was shit. Really just a bad team to start with. So the moves you made, Spencer, and the trades you made, good on you. You won the league with arguably one of the worst teams to start off with in hindsight, looking back at what you had going on there. Dennis Pitta at tight end. He got injured early in the year. No Sean Moreno was a no-show. Amendola was probably the worst receiver on New England, which doesn't say a whole bunch, but there's a lot of mouths to feed there. Once again, Alex Smith, awful, but good job. You did win the league. Once again this year we had our best records going into the playoff against each other. Bassett Brawlers with 13 wins, which ties a single season record that was set by myself and Jesse last year. Oh, he did finish the season with a 10-game win streak, so that's huge. Again, you made some moves, obviously, in those first 6 weeks that really paid off for you. Good work. That will still continue current streak going into next year, so that's really good. This biggest single week blow up was actually the waiver wire against Bassett's Brawlers in week 6. Bassett's Brawlers lost by 64 points, but I'd say it was sweet, sweet revenge here in the championship. Taking that by a margin of about 40 points, so that was huge. Looking at the Habs rule, they had another rough year. Last year, their opponent average was a little over 108 points. This year was a little over 114, so hard schedule. It doesn't help when your team sucks, but a very hard schedule. So once again, congratulations to Bassett's Brawlers for winning the trophy. This is my last address for 2014. I might let out a new one in January, just kind of going over any future communications, any future get-togethers. It was a hell of a season, guys. It was lots of fun. Sad to see the trophy go, but it's good that it'll be moving home. So next year I'll be looking to get that back again, and probably going to go running back for my first 2 picks, because man, did my team suck this year. That is all. All hail the commish.